I would like to request Raju sir, kindly welcome our keynote speaker, Pillai sir.
Sir, please
Yes,
unmute
sir, you
yourself.
are
Sir, please
request
unmute.
to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible now.
Yeah. So welcome to third day of the conference. Now we have the eminent speaker, Professor Emmanuel Subankar Pilli. So welcome, sir. Welcome to this third day of conference. So I will briefly introduce our esteemed speaker. Dr. Subankar Pilli did his MTech and from BIT Ranchi and PhD from IIT Roorkee. He is currently working as Associate Professor at Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. He also works as a Dean Academic Affairs, IIT Kota, as an additional charge. And Dr. Pilli has supervised 8 PhD theses and 44 MTech dissertations and around 35 BTech projects under his credit. He also supervising 7 PhDs and 3 MTech students are ongoing. He published 109 papers in international journals and conferences and co-authored 2 research reference books, Fundamentals of Network Forensics, a research perspective, and Cloud Security, Attacks, Techniques, Tools, and Challenges. So with this, I welcome Dr. Subankar Pilli to deliver his keynote talk. So welcome, sir. Floor is yours now.
Yeah.
Now you have this 45 minutes and yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this conference. And as we look at the stream security and of course a little bit of analytics also, as your theme as intelligent augmented analytics. So and one of the stream that we looked at was blockchain. So I just would like to briefly introduce blockchain and take you through some security aspects and also the current work that we are currently handling on privacy on blockchain. So for those, just to create an interest and an idea on what are the research challenges that are happening on blockchain. And of course, many of those who are interested in analytics may look at that blockchain is not an area where we can do anything, but I will show you a lot of insights where you can work on. And there's a huge data set that is available on blockchain, and you can do a variety of things. So let's quickly look at as time is short. So I don't know, I'll not be able to see anyone once I share the screen, but let's have it that way. That's how we are trying to look at, right? So we look at some of the privacy and security issues in blockchain. But briefly, of course, most of us may have heard of blockchain or used a cryptocurrency or purchased cryptocurrency, but we would also like to just look at what it is, right? So these are some of the words that come to our mind. It's a public ledger is what is the word that I would like to use here, data ledger. So it's a public ledger. Ledger is like a bank account that we have, an internet bank account that we see on the screen. But Bitcoin or blockchain is like a distributed ledger. It's a public distributed ledger. Public in the sense anybody can see. So if you had a bank account and anybody could see your transactions, you will not be very happy. But blockchain, people are very happy. All the transactions are public. Anybody can see the transactions. So that's a challenge for analytics people also. You can download all the transactions and analyze, do a lot of analysis. But the secret here is that you would be not be happy about sharing your bank details in public. But if somebody tells you that your name is not known, who is sending transactions to whom is not known, but all the transactions are public, but who is sending to whom is not known, then you will have no problem. Yeah, okay, then I have no problem in putting all my transactions online as long as nobody knows who is sending to whom, right? So that is a public ledger that we are creating, and that was the beauty of that. So this was a paper which actually drove the whole work behind Bitcoin. It's not a research paper. It was a paper which floated on on the internet. I just left it in Google and people started reading it. And this Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know whether it's a male or female, and we don't know whether the person exists. It may have been a pen name also. So he wrote this paper and he left it, and just see the power of a research paper. Though it's not published in a research journal, but this paper had led to the concept of blockchain, and also not only that, but led to so many cryptocurrencies and so many crypto coins being used now in the whole world, right? It started in 2008, and 2009 he coined the first block of the blockchain called the Bitcoin. Bitcoin cryptocurrency uses the blockchain, and that's where it all started. So it's already 15 years old. That's what we are looking at, right? But and once he looked at, he got 50 Bitcoins for his. At that time, Bitcoin did not have any value. It was something like our what do you say, Temple Run or Subway Surfers. You also get a lot of coins. So it was something like a coin like that at that point of time. But his idea was brilliant in that he did not want, whenever I make any transaction, nobody should charge me any transaction fee. Initially, that was the thought process. And you create a block, so you get money. Why do you create a block? You want to approve some transactions. And what are these transactions? These transactions are Bitcoins. Now, he got the 50 Bitcoins, so he could have transferred to so many people. And those people started shifting those Bitcoins here and there. So that's how these Bitcoins are being created and being used. So, and then it has become a success story, and it has become a very trustworthy medium also. So many people trust blockchain. So you may be surprised at the rate at which a blockchain is growing today. If you want to get a blockchain, a Bitcoin, it is about 48 lakh rupees. One Bitcoin is 48 lakh rupees. And who created this market? The trust in the concept of blockchain. And if you look at blockchain commercially, maybe many of our Indians are interested in the stock kind of a market that we look at. We'll buy Bitcoins and we'll send Bitcoins. But a huge computer science background is there in the concept of blockchain. The whole blockchain is running on elliptic cryptography. That is the underlying cryptography that is there. A lot of public key cryptography that we look at. Private keys and public keys are used. And a big cryptographic puzzle called proof of work is solved. So that is what we look at. It's an encryption formula which has to be solved if you want to create blocks. And if you create blocks, you can verify the transactions, right? So people predict that about 21 million Bitcoins will exist, and about 93% of them are already mined. Now, after all the Bitcoins are mined, let us say all the 21 million Bitcoins are mined, what happens? So only these Bitcoins will keep on getting exchanged in transactions. That's all. No more reward will be there. And slowly they introduced a concept for transaction fee, which was earlier not there when the Bitcoin started. They wanted to avoid all the transaction fees. But over a period of time, as you see that the Bitcoins will get exhausted, there will be no reward. And that's what it means. So as you look at how this blockchain is maintained, how these transactions are maintained, the beauty is people are called, who are volunteers, called miners. Miners mine these blocks, add these transactions, verify these transactions. But why do they do them? Because they get a reward, right? Every block that you create, you get a reward. Here now it is about 3.125 Bitcoins. When it started, it was 50 Bitcoins. Slowly it was halved. And as you half, it comes, we'll look at that, right? So Bitcoin has various denominations. As you look at, you don't have to have 46 lakhs. You don't have, so you can buy a Satoshi, which will be few rupees. Right? So you can do that, right? So you can keep some Satoshis. Maybe I'll encourage all of you to just buy some Satoshis and keep it just like that for the sake of trying to understand how a Bitcoin works. So you'll know what is a wallet, you know what is a Bitcoin exchange, you know where to buy a Bitcoin. You can say, I have a tukda of the Bitcoin, a bit of the Bitcoin, you can say, right? So if you want to buy Bitcoin, so you'll have to go to an exchange and buy it. And surprisingly, in Jaipur, there are 12 Bitcoin exchanges. So in Noida, in Delhi, there will be hundreds of exchanges you can look at. Or you can have a friend who has a Bitcoin, so he can send it to you once you create your own address, right? You can mine a Bitcoin. This is something which is challenging, but you need huge resource, huge power. About 620 million terahashes per second have to be executed if you want to solve the cryptographic puzzle. And the mining reward is 3 Bitcoins, so that is 1.5 crore. If you solve the block, you get 1.5 crore, right? 48 lakhs into 3.125. Right, so something like that. There's a huge amount of money that's involved. So that's why do that. And this hash rate is a measure of how many times this cryptographic puzzle called proof of work is solved. Right. So if you have more hashing power, you can take control of the Bitcoin. But because it's a public ledger, because a lot of people are interested in money, a lot of people are competing to create blocks. So you can't take over the blockchain. So if you take over the blockchain, what happened in demonetization will happen. The Bitcoin rate will fall. So there are so many people who are interested in this, and hence no single individual can take over the blockchain. So that's why there's a lot of trust. Someday, I was reading recently that if quantum computing becomes fully realizable, it will break the blockchain, right, easily. So that's the thing that may happen someday. But obviously, as we look at post-quantum cryptography, which we do, we build cryptographic solutions assuming quantum will come someday. So that's called post-quantum cryptography. So we try to build algorithms, though we don't need those algorithms now, we build those algorithms. In a similar sense, mining algorithms will come, which will defeat the power of quantum. And of course, the thought process will be there. If somebody is building quantum, somebody can build a blockchain which is quantum based, which cannot be broken with the power of quantum, right? So I think things will continue and new strategies will come in. So this is what I was talking about, halving of the reward. It started with about 50 Bitcoins, became 25, then 12.5, then 6.25. So while I was teaching sometime in 2020, I think it was 6.25. Just it happened sometime before I got interested and I started researching in 2019. And I witnessed this Bitcoin halving of 6.25. And recently in April 2024, again, I witnessed this halving of 3.125. It's not important for us, but for the Bitcoin miners, this plays a major role, because earlier, if it was 6 Bitcoins, they were earning something like 3 crores. Now they are earning only 1.5 crores. So, and it will go down. And somebody says that in 2028 April, it will become 1.5625 or something like that, right? So that's what it is. So when you look at a ledger, it looks something like this, a Bitcoin ledger. So there's a block number, that is the height of the block. There are some transactions which are there. This is maybe, I think, 2020 slide. Of course, I'll show you the latest block also. So these were the transactions, about 2,500, 2,600 transactions. About maximum is 2,500 transactions in that. And then you have a reward which was given in 2020, 6.25 Bitcoins, and some transaction fee that's also coming in, right? So this was what was happening. Today, as you look at it, it is about 2 days ago, maybe September 9th or 10th, I took this snapshot. So it is 860, 561, right? Something maybe a 300-400 would have been added by now. It must be something like 860, 900 blocks would have been placed if you wanted to slash, right? So these are the transactions count. Now it is almost 7,500 transactions can be added, and then as a nonce is something which is interesting. So let me come to that. What is a nonce is very important. What is a hash is very important as far as a block is concerned. So when you look at a block, it looks something like this. Now, if you take the details of this block, the block looks something like this. The block has a hash value. Every block has a hash value. And then every block will have some transactions. Here, the transactions were 604 only. And then there is a nonce there, and you calculate a Merkle root, right? Merkle root is based on the transactions. I will share the slides. So please bear with me, the speed at which I'm going, but just have an idea of what's actually happening, right? So you want to create a new block. What to do? If you want to create a new block, you have to calculate the block hash. If you want to calculate the block hash, you need to know how many transactions, bundle all the transactions, then find a Merkle root of that transaction. Merkle root is a data structure. I will shortly explain. Then you try to calculate a nonce by which you use the previous block hash and generate the present block hash. Okay, so this is what has to be done. And then a simple transaction, I will discuss this algorithm shortly, but simple transaction is what it looks like this. So these are transaction details, and this is a transaction amount. So I'm combining some transactions and making another transaction on the other side. So these are the inputs and those are the outputs. So what actually happens is somebody is sending the transaction to somebody. So these transaction, you have what you call the addresses which are sending these, and you have these. So once I receive these are coming into my my account, or these addresses relate to my this thing, right? Now I have these transactions which are there on the right hand side. They are called unspent transactions. The left hand side are spent transactions. They belong to me. So they belong to X. X has spent the transactions, and he has given an equal amount to Y. And Y has given 2 addresses, or one of the address may be myself, right? If I have 500 rupees and I want to give somebody 100, sorry, let us put it in the words of Bitcoins, 500 Bitcoins, I want to give somebody 100 Bitcoins. Now, what do? I cannot say, okay, transfer 100 Bitcoins. It's not possible. What I do is, I have a transaction which I received where somebody made 500 Bitcoins to my address. So I will use that same because my address is there and 500 Bitcoins are shown. I say, transfer 100 Bitcoins to my friend and transfer 400 Bitcoins back to myself. I can give an alias address, so the people cannot trace. But of course, that's what is a challenging analytics that you can do a little later, right? So these unspent transactions can be spent later. So that's the thought process that we look at, right? So this is how the progression happened. 13 lakhs in 2017, 21 lakhs in 47 lakhs in 2021, and I think it moved to a little high, 58 lakhs in 2024. It also touched 69 lakhs sometime. I think it was something during that time, sometime November 2021 or 22. It touched 70 lakhs, and now I think it's 46 lakhs on September 9th. Right, 2 days ago it was 46 lakhs. So this is how you can look at how a Bitcoin price is going on. There are other prices also which are there. So if this is 46 lakhs, Ethereum is about 2 lakhs, and then you have different things. And Dogecoin, if you want to try some simple Bitcoins, you can try Dogecoin, which is at 8 rupees. So you can try 1 Bitcoin is 8 rupees. So you can just buy some 100 Dogecoins and keep it. You will have 800 rupees. Someday Dogecoin rate will increase. You can sell it back. So it's a quick, but just what will happen for computer science guys like us, many of you may be interested in analytics also. For you will understand how this technology works and how the data is stored and what I can do with this data. And can I do something more about getting some information about this data is what is the challenging aspect that you can look at, right? So the Bitcoin significance is the first cryptocurrency purely digital. There is no coin, there is no note that is printed. It's all purely digital. It is not controlled by any central entity, because when you look at demonetization, the Reserve Bank was India was involved, and it said all 1,000 rupee notes are invalid now. Right? That's how it can do it, because it's a centralized control entity. Now, you don't have a central entity. The unfortunate thing here, though we think that, okay, nobody is governing us, nobody is doing surveillance. Of course, why don't we want somebody to do surveillance? We don't want to be under surveillance. When we want to do something which nobody wants, which we don't want nobody to know, then only we will avoid surveillance. And that is where Bitcoins are heavily used. You must have first heard the word Bitcoin when there was a big attack across the world called WannaCry, ransomware. Right, the system came and the virus came and it encrypted the system. Now you could not use the system, and then suddenly you get an email from somebody and saying that your system is encrypted. We know that I only encrypted. Now what I do? You want it to be decrypted? Pay so many Bitcoins, and I will decrypt it for you. For people who valued the data, which was very important, maybe it was thousands of rupees, so they went quickly, purchased Bitcoins, sent it to that guy by email, and some of them may have got redeemed. Their decryption code would have been sent, or the system would have been decrypted, and he started using it. And others, they said, okay, I don't value the data. You keep the money. You keep the data, no problem. I will format it and use the fresh system. And of course, in a couple of days, there were some other options which were given where you could use some other mechanism, right? But the basic idea is basically it is a transaction which is recorded in a public ledger. So this is how a block looks like. You have a previous hash, you have a lot of transactions, you have to calculate the nonce, and then you get the next hash, block hash, right? So that's how is it. And the beauty of blockchain ledger is that you cannot change the transactions once they're added to the block. Because the block is publicized to everybody, everybody gets a copy of the block, right? So hence, what happens is you can't change it. It's immutable. Right, so that is the beauty. That's why blockchain data becomes trustworthy. Blockchain transactions become trustworthy, and that's a beauty that we look at. Right. So here is the hash of the transactions that is there. This input public key of that particular block, and this is a transaction, and these are the output keys, and you can do that. So there is a transaction fee that is getting added now. So that is how blockchain transactions do run. Right. So as I was explaining, the unspent transactions. So this is somebody is giving money to somebody, right? So these two people or these two transactions are giving money to one transaction. Now, this transaction is there with me, but it is not sufficient to pay this. Let us say I have getting a 6 Bitcoin, 6.102 Bitcoins here, it's coming as input, right? And I have another 6.25 Bitcoins from some other transactions. Maybe these two transactions are with me from X, but I want to send somebody. So I'm creating a new transaction. 6 Bitcoins are coming from here, 6 Bitcoins are coming from here. They are merged together to form 12 Bitcoins. And I want to pay somebody 9 Bitcoins. That was my target. So if I want to make this 9 Bitcoins, I have to return myself 3 Bitcoins. So what happens? 3 Bitcoins are returned to me and 9 Bitcoins are sent to somebody else, right? So this is the kind of thing that happens, right? So these unspent transactions are spent here. These spent transactions becomes the unspent transactions in the next transaction output, right? So each input spends the Bitcoins paid to a previous output. Each input spends the previous output. So there is no balance column in Bitcoin. If you look at a public ledger, in our account, there is a debit, there is a credit, and there is a balance. But here, there is only credit and debit. Whatever is credited can be debited later. Okay? And whatever is debited is gone. Right? I cannot use it again. So that's how the statement works. Right? So hope you are able to understand and visualize what I'm saying. So these two data sets are maintained. Again, for analytics people, for those who are interested in machine learning and deep learning, these two data sets are publicly available. You can download them, right? For enthusiasts who are interested, you have to set up a code called Bitcoin Core. So Bitcoin Core is a node which connects to the blockchain. So you have to download the Bitcoin Core software, CORE. So download it and then connect it to the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain. Then you have access to these two data sets. One is called UTXO set and one is called the mempool. So anybody who is making a transaction sends it to this mempool. Anybody, I want to send some Bitcoins to my friends, I send a transaction and I send it to the mempool. Mempool receives all these transactions. Now miners who are wanting to create a block will pick up the transactions from here, bundle that into a transaction set and create a Merkle root or a Merkle tree data structure. And from that, they create the Merkle root. I'll explain what a Merkle root is shortly. Maybe it's beyond the scope of this lecture, but briefly I will explain, and later you can actually build the data structure, write the code for the data structure and run it for yourself. This is a challenge. This is an assignment I can give you. You can try to look at how it goes, right? So we will try to see. And then the other one is called UTXO, unspent transaction outputs. U, unspent transaction TX, O, output, unspent transaction output. So these are all the transaction outputs that come on the right-hand side. They are stored in UTXO, right? So when a miner wants to pick up all the transactions and add it to a block, before that, he verifies. What does he verify? He verifies whether these transactions are already spent or unspent. How does he do that? He checks the left-hand side part, whether it is available in the UTXO set. And if it's available there, then he says, okay. And once the block is created, all these transactions which have been spent now are removed from UTXO set, right? They are the right-hand side part are removed from the UTXO set when they become the left-hand side part. Hope you are getting it, right? And the right-hand side part is available, which later somebody can use the right-hand side, make it a left-hand side, and send it to some other right-hand side as a transaction, send it to mempool. And miners will pick up from mempool and create that, right? So this is what actually happens. So the challenge that is there is these two data sets are available. I have told many of my students who are saying, sir, I want to do work with you on machine learning. I say, yes, I don't work on machine learning, core machine learning. Nobody works on core machine learning, very few work, but everybody wants to apply it to machine learning. And many people say, okay, we'll apply to image processing, we'll apply to computer vision, we apply to surveillance, we apply to drones, like these different aspects we apply to IoT data sets and all, right? I understand, sensor data. But there's a huge opportunity in blockchain. If you're looking at. So you can pick up these two data sets, download these data sets, and do a variety of analytics. I will show you some examples. And of course, I will leave it for your interest. And maybe if you have a good supervisor or if you are having good ideas, download the data set, see the data set, see the numbers, and see what all you can play with, right? And that's a challenge. I don't want to, I will show you some analytics, this thing. So initially, hashing is what is very important. So blockchain uses SHA-256. It creates the hash. So for those who want to again understand blockchain more, I'm just giving you a snapshot. But if you want to look in detail, please go to this andersworthbrown.com/blockchain. It's a simulation, a very simple, not a simulation, I would say emulation. It shows you a demo. It shows you an animated view of how things happen, right? And there's a video connected with that also, or it's available on YouTube. You can look at that and correlate and pick up blockchain very easily. And I could understand blockchain very easily because of this simulation that is there. So I'll just put some screenshots here, but you can go and look up this thing. And it as you look at the slides, you can see. So these are some examples that are there. As you look at, there are some transactions here. The actual transactions are not mentioned, but he has put some text. So there's a hash here. It is 4 zeros, but actually blockchain it is 19 zeros. 19 preceding zeros will come. So that is the hash that you have to calculate. How do you calculate? You have to pick up this random value called nonce. So nonce has to be calculated, and that solves the cryptographic puzzle, right? So there's a block header. There are some transaction lists and the block number or the block hash, right? The block number is there. The block header will have the block hash. How do you calculate that? You have a previous block hash. You have a nonce. You have the Merkle root. How do you get the Merkle root? Merkle root is built on, it combines the transactions together. So it takes the all the transactions, every transaction is generating a hash. Every hash is combined to form a Merkle tree, and that Merkle tree is able to create what is called the Merkle root. Merkle root is what is trusted. So this is something like how there is a transaction A, you take the hash, you take a transaction, you take a transaction hash B, then you combine hash A and hash B, you get hash AB. So hash CD also similarly you cut, and then you combine that, you get hash ABCD, which finally becomes the Merkle root. So for every transaction, a hash is maintained. What is that advantage? It summarizes all the transactions in a block. Now this is all for what do you say, computer science and cryptography, right? And hashing. So and data structures. So verify the presence of a transaction in a block. It's very easy. It checks. Can you say the block has a transaction? It is Merkle root. Merkle root gives you the new hash. So hash is built on Merkle root. Merkle root is built on all transactions. So you can verify whether a transaction is there in the block or not very easily. And because a Merkle root hash cannot be made any change, if any one transaction change is made, the Merkle root hash will change. So you cannot get the hash value. So it is immutable. That's how the transactions becomes immutable. All these things have to be done by the miner. So miner has to do a lot of hard work. Miner has to create the Merkle root. Miner has to create, check the previous hash. He has to get the new nonce. And based on that, he has to verify all the transactions that the UTXO set. And because of that, he gets huge amount of money. So that is how it runs. And this is the thing. And any change in one transaction, it will lead to an avalanche effect. What do you mean by avalanche effect? If there's a change in transaction, it will change in the hash of the transaction. It will change in the hash of the block. It will change in the hash of the next block. And the entire blockchain will get devaluated if somebody tries to change some transactions. So hence, transactions cannot be changed. Hence, the data cannot be changed. Hence, it is immutable. And because it is immutable, it is trustworthy. And you may be thinking blockchain is only for cryptocurrency. In recent one of my research work that is there, Blast IoT, you can refer. We are working on trust management in Internet of Things. And we wanted a reliable source where trust can be computed from. So nobody can change my trust values. Where can I get that source? So similar lines, I was working on blockchain. So I told that student who's working on trust management, why don't you use a blockchain? Why don't you store the trust values and retrieve the trust values? The trust values are almost like a transaction. So you may not actually do a transaction, but you just store some data on the blockchain and calculate how it happens. So don't use Bitcoin blockchain. It is very costly. Why don't you use Ethereum and try to do that? So there are some test networks on Ethereum. So they created a network environment and they stored data, retrieved data, and they could calculate how much it costs. And they said, if we can spend so much, we can rely on this trustworthy data. So if ever you are working on any trust related matters or anywhere where you want to store data which should not be changed, you can definitely use blockchain. Of course, this comes at a cost. It almost becomes the transaction cost will be the thing that you try to look at, and then you can try to look at. That's what is. If you change one, then all the blocks get changed. So there's an avalanche effect. That's what you try to look at, right? If I want to become a miner, I have to download the entire blockchain. I was telling you, set up the Bitcoin core, download the entire blockchain. You can be a miner. You may not be able to solve the puzzle, but you can actually access the whole data. If you want, you need to create a block. How do you create a block? You need to find the valid nonce and you can broadcast your block. How can you do that? This is the simpler version. So you first you have to verify all the transactions, bundle the transactions, create the Merkle root, then solve the proof of work problem where you find out the nonce. And if you get the nonce, you can do it. It's a very simple thing. But if you look at how a mining algorithm works, this is what the algorithm works. Slightly bigger version as you look at here. You see, first you need to, what you need to do is just propose a new block. What do you mean by proposing new block? You pick up the transactions from mempool, take the transactions, bundle them, check whether they are all available in UTXO set. And once they are there, calculate the Merkle root. That is what proposing a new block. Then you get the header of the previous block where you get the previous hash and you have to calculate a nonce. Combine them together, get a new hash. Check whether it is less than the target value. There is a target value which is set for every new block. And till you generate a hash which is less than the new target value, you keep on doing this brute force mechanism of calculating the new nonce. And once you get that, what you do, you solve what is called the proof of work puzzle. And then you get a mining reward, right? And those transactions are all approved, right? And sometimes the blocks are created very fast. So there is a comparison which is always done when the block is created, what is the previous time. So there must be usually a 10-minute duration. If the 10-minute duration is not there, the blockchain automatically sets itself to a higher difficulty value. So the next block, if 2 blocks are created in 5-minute duration, the next block will take 20-minute duration. So that's the difficulty level that you tend to understand, right? So this is what is a target value. Target value is basically trying to keep that 2016 blocks every 2 weeks. So it's like every 10 minutes you have 1 block. And so what happens is this difficulty level is changed. Now see the brilliance, what I understand, right? Elliptic cryptography is used and blocks are getting added. And somebody has made it so trustworthy. And the cost is now 46 lakhs. But just understand, if somebody tries to play hanky-panky and blocks are created fast, then the blocks are timed. Who does it? Nobody is monitoring. But brilliant cryptography was used where the target value is made more difficult, right? So obviously there is a simple formula by which you have a current target, you have a maximum target, you divide that by this, then you get what is the difficulty value. So it is adjusted every 2016 blocks to keep that the average blocking time is 10 minutes. And this is automatically adjusted. Nobody sits and nobody makes a change. It is done automatically and the adjustment is done. So anybody uses huge resource, anybody uses huge intelligence, but still he has to follow the mechanism of timing. It has to be 10 minutes, 1 block, so something like that, right? So let me look at some other cryptographies that is used here. So there's a public key and private key that is created. If you create an account, you create a wallet, you go to a Bitcoin exchange and you say, I want to operate something like Google Pay. You trust Google Pay, so you link your bank account to that Google Pay and all the transactions are made. Somebody is making transactions on your behalf, right? So a lot of details are in fact handed over to them and they can do some hanky-panky, but we are trusting them. Similarly here, when you create an account and you say, okay, you are giving them the private key and public key. They are creating it on your behalf when they create a wallet for you. So that's okay because they are managing everything. They are managing your funds. They are buying and selling. So you can do that, right? So what happens is a private key is based on the elliptic curve manipulation. Based on that, you generate what is called a public key. And the public key is again built on double hash, which is SHA-256 and RIP EMD 160. Please read what these are and maybe you can check out those algorithms a little later. And it generates what is called a public key hash, which is subjected to base 58 check encoding. And then you get what is called a Bitcoin address. That Bitcoin address is the 35-bit number that you have seen in the transaction. So you can have 1 Bitcoin address. You can create aliases of that Bitcoin address. So I think that is something that is there. And today we have Ethereum, which is becoming quite popular because it uses another mechanism, not called proof of work. Proof of work means who can find the nonce first. Whoever has more power, he creates the Bitcoin first. He creates the block first, he earns the reward first. Or he is the only one who gets the reward, right? Slow thought process changed, and then they tried to create what is called proof of stake. Proof of stake is giving preference to miners who have more stake. Why do I give preference to people who have more stake? If somebody has more Bitcoins, if somebody has more Bitcoins in wallet for a longer period of time, that means he is more interested that this blockchain should survive. So I give preference to him when his mining efforts are put in. So that will help us to have more trustworthy people with us. So that makes us, that people, because when they trust, when they invest more, when they are interested that it should be successful, they will make it work, and they will be honest. So that is where it looks like. So there's a beacon chain, so they released something in December 2020, and then instead of running one chain, you run about 64 blockchains, which increases the number of transactions that you look at. Anyway, I'll skip this part, and then you get a lot of B apps that are there. And as you look at this blockchain can be used in healthcare, just from the starting of that tablet being formed, the strip being manufactured by a company, pharmaceutical company, and the person who is selling that, the medical store which is selling it, the doctor who is prescribing it, and let us say the patient who is using it, and all are linked. And if something happens to the patient, okay, so the chain of custody is there till the one who mixed the pharmaceutical components in that tablet. So that kind of linkage is given, and we see that you can verify. Of course, a lot of clinical data that you go to any pathology lab and you get the data, and data should be, you don't want it to be public, you want it to be private. So what do? You don't want even something to be printed, something to be shared over email or WhatsApp. Now these days they are doing that, but let them put it on a blockchain. You can access, your doctor can access that pharmaceutical, the pathology lab. Anyway, they know the values, so they will only 3 of them can access. Nobody will be able to see. So that kind of mechanisms are now being built on blockchains. So blockchain is not only used for cryptocurrency, hence it is challenging for a green environment, which is your theme of the conference, for data analytics, which is also a theme of the conference, for security issues, which is a theme of the conference. So blockchain has so many research challenges. So you can try to look at detecting fraudulent drug dealers and all. So these are so many challenges that are there, right? But another aspect that we look at Ethereum is building smart contracts. Smart contracts, you are programming the blockchain. There is a way to program Bitcoin blockchain also. I skipped some of the portion there because you can write scripts to make the transactions conditional. Here also, you can program the blockchain by using what are called smart contracts. Smart contracts are specifically for Ethereum blockchain. Scripts are for Bitcoin blockchain. You write scripts, locking scripts and unlocking scripts. Here you write smart contract. Smart contract is executed on both the sides of the two end users. Both of them have a smart contract. So both of them can enter into a smart contract and they can do the transactions. And this can be coded in a programming language called Solidity or Viper. And Solidity you can try to set up using a remix editor, which is available on Ethereum. You can go to ethereum.org, download remix, and try to run some codes on. And a lot of codes are available on GitHub of smart contracts. A lot of BTech projects can be built on smart contracts. So if some of you are interested to guide BTech students, ask them to generate a blockchain and then let them do that, right? So that's something you can try to look at, right? Then there are a lot of frameworks for Ethereum, like how Bitcoin was there. You can set up Ethereum development. You can do that. And after we look at this, and we have this blockchain Solidity, which can be used. And this is a simple coding. This is a simple example that we look at. And as we see that blockchain 2.0, that is the you can use a smart contract code. This is for simply minting and sending coins. So you have a function called mint and you have a function called send, and you can use it, right? So this is something that, and this is how a block looks like on the blockchain. Simply, this is how it looks like. So they are called ethers, and ethers are, the word that is used is called gas. Gas is like fuel, and fuel is what gives the power. And as you see here, when you see a transaction, so from Ethereum account 1 to Ethereum account 2, if you're transmitting 10 Bitcoin, so you see that 1024 deducted 10, so 1014, 5202 added 10, so it becomes 5212. This is how the state chain happens in this. And similarly, you have what is called permissioned blockchain. You have permissionless blockchain. Ethereum is permissionless. Anybody can join Ethereum. Bitcoin is permissionless. Anybody can join. But if you look at Hyperledger, which is a permissioned blockchain, or I would call it a private blockchain, right? So which user can join? A central entity controls. So permissionless blockchains, no central entity. But here you want to set up for your own institution. You want to set up for your company, right? So then you have a user can join the network and user can participate in consensus and validate the transactions, right? So Hyperledger is something which you can set up. Private network in your own college, in your own institution, you can set up. And students can play with all these tools, which are open source, freely available. You can set up and you can run this. And a lot of blockchain courses that we have offered this lab setup, trying to set up a Hyperledger fabric, some of these components of the Hyperledger, as you see, these are all the components of Hyperledger. You can look at them and you can do that, right? So quickly, let me talk about analytics. Few minutes left, and if time permits, I'll just briefly introduce the idea that we are working on. So this is the data that is available. Bitcoin data about 600 GB. Blank data that is available. But if you look at all the transactions and all, it will be some 800 GB data which is available. So you can download. It's free. If you have Kaggle, Kaggle has a recent about, I think last year or something, they had a competition on Bitcoin data. Please look at that. Download the latest data and try to do the same analytics. So that will be a very good project for your BTech students, or you only want to get your hands-on on analytics, but you want to use blockchain data, you can download that. Ethereum data, about 1150 GB yesterday's data I checked. So it was about 1150 GB. If you download them, 2 lakh rupees is what the cost now for every blockchain that you look at, right? So you can do all the nodes on Bitcoin, use a seed of nodes to connect to the network. So the entire Bitcoin blockchain, when you download, all the addresses will give you the seed addresses. And based on that, you can find out how many nodes are online. You can find out how many nodes are available. You can find out how many nodes are available country-wise, right? Where are the more number of nodes? They are there in US, they are there in Africa, they are there in Singapore and other countries. Okay, and India, as you see, there are less. Okay, so there are some nodes in India, but they are less comparatively. So you can look at these nodes. This is like example. You can read this bit nodes. It's a map that is created, but based on the blockchain data, right? So this kind of analytics you can generate. You can generate the blockchain size and find out what are the variations. You can find out average transactions per block. How is it increasing? How is it decreasing? Total transactions, how it is increasing, how is it decreasing, what is the amount, who is making transactions, transaction excluding popular addresses, unique addresses that are used, how is the mempool size varying over a period of time, all these things. And then there are some more analytics, this thing that you can look at, CryptoQuant, Glassnode, Messari, Y charts. You can just Google them. You will get a lot of data, and then you can write a lot of queries, and then you can do that, right? So maybe as my time is reaching, I have only 2 minutes, so maybe you can read this little later. But what I'm trying to do is something called atomic swap. What I'm trying to do here is a very important aspect. I have Bitcoin amounts, and I have my friend who has Ether amount, right? And both of us have accounts on Bitcoin and Ether. He has accounts on Bitcoin and Ether. But then I have Bitcoins, he has Ethers. He wants Bitcoins, I want Ethers. Now what to do? If I go back to an exchange, I have to convert my Bitcoins to dollars. Then I have to convert dollars to Ethers. Then I will get Ethers. He has to take his Ethers and give it to the Bitcoin exchange. He will get dollars. He has to spend the dollars. He will get Bitcoins. Twice we lose money. But let us say me and that person, we come to an agreement. We make a contract, or we make an agreement. Okay, saying that I will give you Bitcoins, you give me Ethers, right? And no money is lost in between on transactions. But how do I trust? Okay, if 2 friends are there, that's fine. We can trust. But if I can try to create an app, or try to create a mechanism by which we can exchange these crypto coins, right? So Alice is in Ethereum, Bob is on Bitcoin, and you can create an escrow account and do that, right? So escrow account is somebody who comes in between, and you can do that, right? That is one aspect. But this is where you deposit the amount with the escrow, you deposit the amount with the escrow, the third party does these exchanges and does that, but then they will charge some fee as well. But if you don't want to do that, right, so you do on your own. What happens is you try to get what is called an atomic swap, right? So Alice owns Ethereum, Bob owns Bitcoins. If the protocol succeeds, Alice gets Bitcoin, Bob gets Ethereum. If the protocol fails, Alice still retains the Ethereums and Bob still retains the Bitcoins. But then if you see how it opens, Bitcoin is locked on the Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum is locked on the Ethereum blockchain. You unlock the Bitcoins for Alice and unlocks the information for Bob to claim funds, right? Unlocks Ethereum for Bob on the Ethereum blockchain and the problem is fine. So that is how, but then in this whole thing, when people are doing these transactions now we try to find out whether we can understand who is Bob and who is Alice. We don't know the names, but if we can get the addresses and we can know that these kind of transactions are happening and this amount of transaction is happening, these are also a privacy issue. And while these transactions are happening, somebody is sharing the information, right? That basic information that is there, by which he unlocks this information, there is a key which is shared. And the key can be transmitted through a third party, or you transmit as a part of the code. And then for people who know the mechanism, you can easily decrypt or find out that key. Now, to keep that key private is an issue. So we build this algorithm and we are trying to do that. This is the kind of scripting that is there, which is involved, and people are doing atomic swaps already. So don't think that we are trying to propose an atomic swap. Atomic swaps are happening. A lot of papers are published. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to build a privacy mechanism which ensures that no information is revealed in all the transactions. It is almost like something like a Bitcoin transaction, which reveals nothing about the sender and the receiver. But when you do the scripting and you do an atomic swap between two individuals, then you reveal some information. Of course, time is not sufficient to explain all that. You can do that. So what we are trying to do is we will try to, because both the chains are public, all the transactions can be analyzed. So you can link the addresses and you can find out who these individuals are. We don't know who the person is, but we know that somebody has made these transactions. So that's where I stop. If you have any questions, I would be very happy. I think I am exactly on time or a little 1 or 2 minutes late. But it was quick rush through. I will request the organizers to share the slides so that people will benefit by reading through once again. And thank you so much for this time.
Thank you so much, Professor Pillai, sir. It is a very vast research. I'm also a very new research scholar. It was very insightful, and I hope all the audience must be having same insights. And the students who are working in the cryptography side and the blockchain side, this is very wonderful data and guidance for them. On the behalf of participants, sir, I would like to request these PPTs for our participants. I would like to request Professor Raju sir for the thank you note to the Pillai sir. And if there is any, I'm sorry, if there is any queries from the audience side, we would like to request the queries.
Thank you, Professor Shubhankar ji, for giving this a nice, wonderful talk. In fact, our faculty in computer science are doing excellent work in blockchain technologies. Maybe if you have free time, please visit our universities and we can have some good interaction. In fact, we have also the high performance computing facilities in our university. So maybe these facilities can be used for this blockchain technology. Right. So whenever you have free time, just you please visit us and we can host you some other event. So I think the chat box, there is no questions. I think any physically students want to ask some questions.
I would like to request to the participants, if there is any query, then you can ask.
Yeah, it will take some time to digest.
Yeah, that is very high level talk. And
let them go through the slides. If they have any questions, they can drop a mail, right? Sure. Yeah.
Sir, I am having a short query. Sir, I want to understand what is the impact of such kind of technology on India. As you said that there is very less nodes in India. So how it is such kind of technology and blockchain is impacting India?
Yeah, actually, see, many of the governments across the world have accepted Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as legal tender. India said Bitcoin is not illegal, but Bitcoin is not a legal tender. So you cannot exchange formally the kind of, you cannot buy some things in India using Bitcoin. You can buy on an international website, but in India you cannot use it as a currency, right? So that is a restriction. And you know where it comes from? It comes from a fear. It comes from a fear that we will not be able to solve cryptographically any issue that comes later, right? But other governments, Chinese governments and other governments, they have said we'll handle it. Korean government said we'll handle it, because they are confident on their cryptographic strength or their this thing. So maybe many in America, maybe many in Europe are Indians who are developing these nodes and maintaining these nodes. Unfortunately for us, we are looking at blockchain for a stock market kind of a commodity kind of a use, not from a technology point of view. What all I shared, many must be afraid. Oh, all this is involved in blockchain, so let me not do anything on blockchain. But I would like to encourage many of the young faculty who are here and students who are here to take on this head along. Otherwise, India will be left behind in this race, and there will be an issue for us at a later time. And very rightly, you pointed out, we are going to be left behind, because a lot of companies are also using blockchains for their mechanisms and their kind of trust management and these situations like that. So applications of blockchain are many. So we need to look at those and we need to get hands on. I think that's the challenge for us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for answering the questions. And I would like to request any participants if you pop up any query in your mind. Okay, I would
Please
like to
raise your
request
hand so that we can unmute you to ask the questions. Otherwise, you can write it in the chat box.
I think there is no queries, sir. On the behalf of International Conference Committee, Organizing Committee, I would really like to thank Professor Pillai sir and Professor Raju sir for taking out time and coming and presenting such beautiful presentation for our students. And thank you so much, sir. We request you to kindly share the PPT to us so we can share with the participants.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Dr. Sharma. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So in the continuation of this international conference, I can see there are a number of participants has joined us, and I would like to we will start our next phase of the this conference by presenting the welcoming the session chairs. Allow me some time. Just 1 second. Professor Sandeep sir. Okay. Allow us 2 minutes. We are just restarting we are starting the session. So dear participants, we have recently heard a wonderful presentation by Professor Pillai sir.
Please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible, sir? Hello. Pankaj sir, am I audible?
Yes, it's fine. You may proceed further. Fine.
Okay, thank you, sir. So in the continuation of our international conference, we have recently heard a wonderful presentation by Professor Pillai sir. And now I would like to invite Our session chair has joined us, Professor Dr. Sandeep Saxena, sir. It's my pleasure to introduce Professor Sandeep Saxena, sir. He is an HOD at GIMS Engineering Management Technical Campus, Greater Noida. With over 16 years of experience, Dr. Saxena specializes in blockchain technology, cloud computing, and security. He has authored 4 technical books, published 50 plus research papers, and holds several patents. A senior member of IEEE and IAASE, he has participated in over 20 international conferences as a keynote speaker and session chairs. His contribution to research and education are highly impactful. Professor Dr. Sandeep Saxena, sir, most welcome in this session, sir. We request you to kindly join us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. And our second special session chair is Dr. Udilak Mitra, sir, who has received his PhD degree from Vishwa Bharati University, Shanti Niketan, India in 2021, and he is currently an assistant professor in JAI's College of Engineering, Kalyani, West Bengal. He is a specialized professional in bioinformatics, computational biology, machine learning, and deep learning, and applied artificial intelligence in the field of agriculture and medical diagnosis. He has authored and co-authored more than 17 papers in journals, conferences, and proceedings, and book chapters, and supervises PhD students. In addition to master's and undergraduate students, he is also a regular reviewer in reputed international and peer-reviewed journals. We welcome Dr. Udilak Mitra, sir. In the continuation of our international conference, now, Sandeep sir, we have shared a evaluation sheet with you. I hope it is with you. Sandeep sir.
Yes, ma'am, I have a evaluation sheet, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So now, students, I will call each and every student one by one, and we will. I request you all. You can share your PPTs. We are giving the permissions, and then you can start your presentation. So, in the list of the participants, I would like to invite Apurav Changal on the paper title "Unveiling Financial Fraud." Apurav Changal, are you present with us, Apurav Changal? It seems he must be joining shortly. Paper ID AIAIA 121. Is the student present here? Okay. Next student, I would like to invite Mr. Nishchay Mehta. Next participant, Mr. Nishchay Mehta. On the topic, yes, Nishchay, you are audible. Nishchay is presenting on the image classification of Alzheimer's disease using quantum computing with convolutional neural networks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nishchay Mehta, a second-year student from BTech Bioinformatics and Amity Institute of Biotechnology. So today's topic of my research is image classification of Alzheimer's disease using quantum computing with convolutional neural networks. This is the amalgamation of Alzheimer's disease and how quantum computing could be used in convolutional neural networks, and how in the future we can use this research for development of quantum computing with the convolutional neural network. So this is the agenda for today. Let's talk about Alzheimer's disease. So Alzheimer's disease is a progressive neurodegenerative disorder, but this is a significant challenge to global healthcare system and affects millions of lives worldwide. So as you can see, this is the cases of Alzheimer's disease in India. In 2022, it has been 6 million, and it has been projected to be around 15 or 14 million by 2050. So this is a disease that is concerning in the healthcare sector. So this research explores an innovative approach to Alzheimer's disease diagnosis by combining two cutting-edge technologies, quantum computing and convolutional neural networks. This novel integration aims to enhance the accuracy and efficiency of image classification of Alzheimer's disease. we have seen how quantum computing and convolutional neural networks have risen on these technological healthcare system. So this research not only contributes to the field of Alzheimer's diagnostics, but also paves the way of broader application of quantum machine learning in health sector. Let's talk about why we have used quantum convolutional neural networks. So QCNN, also known as quantum convolutional neural networks, extend the capabilities of CNN by leveraging certain potential powerful aspects of quantum computing. It operates on input data by locally transforming the data using number of random quantum circuits. It has been shown that quantum circuits are able to model complex functional relationships, which is infeasible using polynomial size classical computational resources. So QCNNs are able to capture the spatial relationship between the image pixels in a pattern manner because of the exponential Hilbert spaces, which QCNN are able to use and is not present in classical CNN models. Since higher level quantum systems are not possible at the moment, near future, we will see technologies such as Q-trits and Q-quads, etc. Therefore, this new QCNN architecture will be very useful in the future scale. You can see this is how the input data, we get an input data here, 28 by 28 images, which is then further transformed by one layer into 14 by 14, which is at the end, it is transformed into 1 by 1 layer on which our qubits work. And this is the level at which these quantum filters work for image classification and our classical CNN models. It is made up of a group of n quantum filter, which operates much like their classical convolutional layer counterparts by producing feature maps through locally transforming input data. This is the methodology we have used. So we consider a single convolutional filter uses a random circuit, quantum circuit Q, which takes an input spatially local subsections of images from dataset. So we have imported the dataset of Alzheimer's from Kaggle. The dataset is divided into mild demented, very mild demented, moderately demented, and the normal MRI images. So there are total number of 5,120 MRI images were taken for training, and 1,481 images were taken for the testing purpose. So each input is a 2D matrix of size n by n, where n is, of course, larger than 1. We first initialize the penny lane default qubit device. So penny lane device is in the field of quantum machine learning is a term used to describe a simulated or a physical quantum computer that can be used for executing quantum circuits. So we don't really have those kind of machineries at the moment, but we are using penny lane default qubit devices. So it simulates a system of 4 qubits. This model also uses Python libraries such as TensorFlow Quantum, Keras, and PennyLane. So the quantum circuit consists of an embedding layer of local RY rotations, a random parameterized quantum circuit of n layers, a final measurement in the computational basis estimating about the 4 expectation values. So the image is then divided into 2 by 2 pixels, and each square is processed by the quantum circuit, and finally 4 expectation values are mapped into 4 different channels of a single output pixel. Next thing we have is the result and the discussion. So the first 4 output channels generated by the quantum convolution are visualized in grayscale. We'll see in the next slide how there are some local distortions that are introduced by the quantum kernel due to downsampling the resolution, although the global shape of the image is preserved. So initially, the image's data is flattened to a single dimension and uploaded to CSV. So we reshape the size of the data to 28 by 28 format. The first convolutional layer, when implemented on this size, it creates an output of 14 by 14 by 14 by 4 dimensions. Again, this second layer is convolutionally implemented on 14 by 14 this image data, and it creates 7 by 7 dimensions. So then further, when we use these layers on 7 by 7, it creates a 3 by 3 block, and then 3 by 3 block then outputs 1 by 1, on which these are quantum circuits are worked, and further results are implemented. Next thing we can see, this is the MRI images, which are then scaled down when we use quantum convolutional layers on these. This is the 14 by 14 images. These are 7 by 7. And then further, we can see how there are some local distortions here. But when we downscale these things are quite promising. Next thing we can see in the figure is that the accuracy of this model came around 48%, and the cost is around 1.31, as you can see in the figure B and figure A. This is the SVC plot, a scatter plot using a linear SVC quantum machine learning. The four classes are normal, very mild demented, and moderate demented. Although the result is quite low, but in the future, we'll see the future work of this research is that due to lack of computational resources, we reduce the size to 28 times 28 using OpenCV libraries, which may have suppressed a lot of information. This is the reason why our result came around 48%. But later, with the availability of more computational resources, we can use 256 by 256 dimensions images, which can increase the accuracy of model. So after applying convolution and flattening the data, we had 256 features of each image, but only 11 features are used by feature selection method due to lack of qubits. This work can be implemented on real-time quantum computer with more number of available qubits and real-time simulation of quantum circuits to get a feel of the quantum system. Moreover, we can experiment with the training of 4 convolutional layer on randomly generated image with the availability of more qubits. So that was it for my research. Thank you so much. These are the references, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Nishay. It was wonderful research work. I would like to request our session chair, Sandeep sir. Do you have any queries with the student?
Good morning, sir, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
My internet connection has been disturbed for.
Oh, okay.
I am disconnected.
Nishay has just completed his presentation, sir. Nishay, I would like to request you. Could you just share your slide once if Sandeep sir wants to ask any query from you or any participants? If you are having any query, then you can raise your hand.
Should I share on the group or should I display it?
Just display it with the title slide. Sir, if there is any query with the participants.
Sir, I'm working on this research really focuses on image classification of Alzheimer's disease using quantum computing, convolutional neural networks. This is the agenda. This is the brief introduction of what Alzheimer's disease is. So this research is this amalgamation of quantum computing and convolutional neural networks. This is the architecture of how QCNN model works and how it takes an input data and transforms into a quant and then pool. Combines
Nishay,
yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is the accuracy of this particular algorithm or process?
Yes, so the accuracy here came around 48%. This is mainly because it's quite low. The reason of this is because we didn't have any computational resources, quantum computational resources, and lack of qubits. But in the future, when we'll have more resources on quantum computing, we'll see the accuracy going up. Also, quantum computing is very susceptible to noise, and that was one of the reasons of this accuracy.
Do you have any comparison chart of your algorithm and the previous available algorithms?
So the previous available algorithms, when we looked about the classical CNN models, they came about 97%, but due to, as I said, quantum computing resources, lack of quantum computing resources, the accuracy came around 48% here.
The accuracy is 48%, so it is not it cannot be said that this is better than the previous algorithms.
Yeah, this is not, but as I said, in the future work, we'll have more computational quantum computing resources. I'll explain why quantum computing is better. I would say it's almost used in the future. We'll be using this more often. It also transforms the image data into these convolutional quantum convolutional layers. It is made up of n filters. So what it does, it transforms the data into much better way and is able to capture the spatial relationship between the image pixels in a better manner because of the exponential Hilbert spaces, which QCNNs are able to use. And in present, we don't really have the resources. So in the future, we'll probably see more advancement into this technology.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nishay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nishal, for the beautiful presentation and answering the queries. In the next, I would like to request participant Dr. Niharshi. I would like to request Dr. Niharshi.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yes,
Can
yes,
you
yes.
back?
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, so can I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am, you can share your
All
screen.
right, just give me a minute, ma'am.
I request to all the participants kindly take care of the timelines which has been given from the session side. It's around 7 to 8 minutes of the presentation and 2 to 3 minutes of the question answer round. And I'm sharing the list of the participants in the series so you can be ready for your turn. Thank you. Ma'am, are you ready? You are on mute, ma'am.
Ma'am, please let me know, as my screen is visible to you all?
It's not, you are visible, ma'am, you are audible, but your screen is not visible right now.
Just give me a minute, ma'am, I'll share it again. Just give me a minute. Ma'am, my screen is visible to you all?
No, ma'am, it is not.
It's not, still it's not?
No, it's still not.
There is some network issue, just give me a minute once more.
Sure, ma'am, sure. Please take your time.
Now?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible now.
Okay, so I'll switch it to the presentation mode. Now is it, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible now.
I'm not able to move my screen. There is some technical glitch.
Ma'am, till you resolve your technical glitch, let me invite the other participant. Let me see how I can help you. I invite Jyoti Khemnani as our next participant. Miss Jyoti Khemnani.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Are you ready with your presentation? I request to all the participants, please be prepared with your presentation. Ms. Jyoti, I request you to kindly share your presentation. Jyoti, your screen is visible. You can start now.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jyoti Khemnani, and I am pursuing BTech from Vivekananda Global University. I am here to present my presentation on GitHub, a comprehensive version control and collaboration platform for modern software development. Today, we are going to cover these points. So basically, what is GitHub? GitHub is a web-based platform that allows users to manage and host their repositories online. It is a distributed version control system by which users can maintain their version history properly. GitHub also provide a collaboration platform by which developers can work on the same project simultaneously and independently without disturbing the main code base. Why we need GitHub? GitHub helps users to work on separate branches independently, and then after they can merge those branches in the main master branch. It also provides a powerful version control system so that user, uh, if anyone wants to get details of the previous if anyone wants to, hello, GitHub
Miss
also
Jyoti, you're
provides
audible. You can continue.
It also provides a powerful version control system. Like if any of the users wants to get any previous detail about the project, they can get it easily. It also supports open source contribution and learning. Anyone can contribute their work on the working directory or repository. It also helps in automated testing and deployment processes. Automated testing reduces the risk of bugs and errors. It also provides a good documentation and management of project workflows. So here are some basic commands of GitHub. First one is git init. Git init is used to initialize a repository. Second one is git clone. Git clone is used to create a local copy of the repository. And third one is git status. Git status is used to check the status of the particular project. Git add. Git add is used to add some particular file to the existing repository. Git commit. Git commit helps to record the created changes by the users with each descriptive message by which other users can understand that particular change easily. Git push is used to upload the committed changes to the remote repository globally. Git branch is used to add some new branches in the particular existing repository, and they can make changes to that. Git checkout is used to if any user wants to switch on the particular branch, and they can fix the errors in the repository. And next one is, here are some features of GitHub repositories. Basically, repositories are the storage space for the project files, and users can maintain their version history, and they can also manage their committed changes in the form of version. Commits are basically used to record the changes which are committed by the users. Branches, users can work on the different features and bug fixes by creating some branches by not disturbing the main code base branch. Collaborators, users can invite each other and contribute their work in the repository and can work together independently. And how can we make a repository? First one is we have to log into GitHub, and the top right corner, we can click on the plus icon, and by the drop down arrow, we can create a new repository. And after creating repository, we have to give the repository name and description, and declare whether it is private or public. Initialize the repository, then add a README file. README file helps users to get instructions then how the project workflow is going on. Then create repository. We can push code to the working directory, and users can commit changes, whether it can be a branching, it can be merging, it can be commit changes, it can be push forward. And next one is education value of GitHub for students. Student can make their portfolio better by engaging and by using GitHub. Then they can learn from them. They can have good networking. They can have better skills, and they can learn best practices. How can we use GitHub professionally and more better way? and then at last we have conclusion. So basically, GitHub is a central platform for managing and sharing code. It also facilitates a good collaboration for the employees and for the students also. It provides a streamlined version control system, and it also provides a streamlined project workflow. It also provides learning resources and community support. It is essential for modern software development practices. It helps in building professional portfolio of projects, especially for students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jyoti. I request Sandeep sir if you are having any queries or any other participants.
Yeah, Jyoti. Hello,
Sorry,
Jyoti.
sir.
Jyoti,
Yes, sir.
can you tell me the why you have chosen this topic first, and what the research you have done in this particular research paper?
Sir, I have not done any research. I have just studied this topic.
This is any survey paper or something, any comparison you have, or anything did you have done in this particular topic? How is it useful for your readers?
Sorry, sir.
How this paper is useful for your readers? Are you getting my point?
Sir, actually, I have not done any research on the particular topic.
नहीं
I have just
क्योंकि
studied.
मैं बस ये जानना चाह रहा हूँ आपका पेपर को जो भी पढ़ेगा, if anyone person read your paper, what they get from this paper, उसको क्या मतलब नॉलेज मिलेगी, क्या एक रिसर्च नजर आएगा इस पेपर में?
सर, जैसे एज ए स्टूडेंट अगर हमें कोई भी एज ए टीम में प्रोजेक्ट मिलता है तो हम लोग कहीं से भी ग्लोबली हम लोग काम कर सकते हैं, एक दूसरे के काम को देख सकते हैं, उनके कोड को रिव्यू कर सकते हैं, चेंजेस कर सकते
These
हैं.
all information is available on internet, na? All this information is available on internet, so I didn't think we need to write a research paper on this particular information.
Sure.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Jyoti, for the nice presentation and sharing your knowledge on the GitHub. I would like to request the next participant. I hope Ms. Niharshi, Dr. Niharshi, ma'am, are you ready to
Yes,
present?
ma'am. I'm trying my best.
Okay.
Just give me a minute.
Okay.
And I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. Can you make it next?
Yes, ma'am. Now is it
It's
visible?
working, ma'am. Yes, it's working. Yes, ma'am.
All right, fine. So hello everyone, myself Dr. Niharshi Srivastava, and now I'm going to present my research paper on the topic of women-centric AI, a step towards empowerment. And my co-author Professor Mani Sachdeva, Dr. Monica Gwalani, Dr. Ajit Kumar Singh, Dr. Mukta Arora, Prashantu Arora, and Dr. Sadullah Khasa. So as we all are aware that nowadays we are living artificial intelligence era. So artificial intelligence plays a very a significant role in women's empowerment, and they are offering tools and opportunities that enable women to participate equally alongside men in both domestic and professional spheres. So AI has facilitated women's involvement across various fields and allowing them to make meaningful contributions and achieve recognitions. So basically, women-centric AI system specifically addresses the unique needs or the concern and aspirations of women, which aiming to foster inclusivity in digital and the societal advancements. However, the development and deployment of AI technologies has been largely guided by a limited perspective that we often ignore gender-specific needs. But this has led to biases in AI models, hiring algorithm or the facial recognition system that can disadvantage women, particularly those from marginalized communities. So our paper would be focused on the qualitative analysis.
Hello, ma'am.
Our research methodology used a qualitative research design with
Hello, Niharshi ma'am, are we
yes,
audible?
yes.
Niharshi ma'am, Sandeep sir is asking something from you.
No, it's okay, ma'am. I think PPT is stuck on a one page only.
Okay, fine,
So I
sir.
just want to.
So our research methodology basically focus on the qualitative research design with a thematic analysis in order to develop perspective of AI and the IT experts with respect to women-centric AI and its consequences for the empowerment of women. And basically, this approach is designed to identify and analyze key themes of the structured interview conducted with industry experts. So our participants from the AI and IT experts with adequate experiences, and participants were therefore sampled based on their expertise or the contribution to AI technologies. So basically, a total of 10 experts participated in this study. Data collection was done through structured interview with the IT experts, and questions were set in a way to seek answers on 10 specific questions related to the concept of basically women-centric AI. So the main objective of this research was this research underscored the transformative potential of women-centric AI in promoting gender equity and the inclusivity. So it highlights the need for diverse perspective in AI development to address the unique needs to women and reduce the digital gender gap. That was the reason we are collecting data from the IT expert. So these are the structured interview questionnaire. Our first question, what does the term women-centric AI, which leads to how do you envision it contributing to women empowerment? How can AI be specifically designed or adapted to address challenges? What are the some current examples of women-centric AI application? And the AI technologies, how can we ensure that women's voices and perspective are included? And how can AI help in bridging the gender gap? And also ethical consideration, AI playing a role in combating issues like gender-based violence. What role do you believe AI should play in shaping the future of work for the women, basically future technology? And what can government or the organization or any other educational institution do to support the development and deployment of AI solutions? And what are the basically key challenges and opportunities for women-centric AI? So these are the questions. And on the basis of the 10 experts, um, uh, 10 experts, thematic analysis was employed to analyze interview data. And the process of analysis is a transcription and the coding and the development of themes and the analysis. So these themes were extracted from the data, and on the basis of the interview, we have extracted total 5 themes: empowerment and gender equality, challenges and opportunities, women-centric AI application, and the gender gap, and the reshape the future. And also we have the sixth theme. It was the policy making. So on the basis of the this theme, we come to the conclusion on the basis of the first theme, empowerment and the gender equality through women-centric AI. So basically, when we talk about on this theme, so women-centric AI systems are increasingly seen as powerful tool for the empowerment and the promoting gender equality. So these AI solution aim to addresses disparity in healthcare or the education or the employment and social inclusion, offering women better access to resources and the opportunities. So basically, this theme is focused on the empowerment and gender equality. Now, the second theme discuss about the challenges and opportunities in women-centric AI. So, despite its potential or the several, challenges need to be addressed to maximize the effectiveness of women-centric AI. So, these type of challenges include overcoming gender biases in AI system and ensuring women access to technology and addressing the underrepresentation of the women in tech role. So gender bias in AI models often stem from it's a data and a lack of diversity in development. So basically, this theme focused on the what kind of the challenges faced during uses of AI for the women and the opportunities for the women-centric AI. Now the next theme discuss about the women-centric AI application. When we talk about the AI application, women-based AI application, so practical application of AI that cater to women's specific needs and demonstrate the potential of technology to addresses unique challenges. For example, the club app utilize AI to help women track menstrual health or giving them better control over their reproductive health. And there is a one type of AI application to enhance the early and accurate detection of breast cancer. So these type of the application, which is basically focused, or we can say that these application is the best example of women-centric AI application. And nowadays, women are using these type of application to detect or to enhance their awareness. Now, the second next theme focused on the AI bridging the gender gap, because AI plays a very crucial role in identifying and addressing gender gaps across industries, and they are offering a lot of opportunities for women to thrive in traditionally male-dominated sectors. So AI-driven data analysis can identify gender disparities and help organizations develop targeted strategies to address it. So I think nowadays we have filled the gender gap in various fields through AI, because most of the women are using AI applications and AI-based technologies. Now, the last second last theme actually, discuss about the reshaping the future of work for women. So nowadays we are living in AI era. So AI has the potential to transform the future of work for women by automating repetitive tasks and allowing them to focus on more strategic role. So this shift creates new economic opportunities and foster greater flexibility for the women balancing caregiving responsibilities. So I think a very bright future, um, um, uh, AI reshaping the very bright future of work for the women. And the last theme we have extracted from the interviews what was the role of policy making in women-centric AI. So nowadays, government, organization, and institution play a very critical role in supporting the development and implementation of women-centric AI. So policy frameworks that encourage investment in women-centric AI and AI literacy program targeted at women are essential to bridge technical skills or the gaps. So there are so many government and non-government organizations are offering or they conduct various, awareness programs, awareness drive to spread the awareness among women in relation to AI. So overall, the discussion highlights the transformative potential of the women-centric AI in fostering gender equality and empowerment, while we are also emphasizing the need for comprehensive policy support or the AI development inclusion and addressing the various challenges of gender bias and unrepresentation in technology. So on the basis of the themes, we can easily understand that women-centric AI presents both immense opportunities and significant challenges, while AI can empower women and promote gender equality across various sectors. So thank you very much. This is from my side.
Thank you, Niharshi ma'am, for a beautiful presentation. I request Sandeep sir if there is any query.
Yeah, there is no query, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can I answer my
Thank you,
screen?
sir.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Asif Iqbal as the next participant to present your presentation.
Good morning, ma'am. Let me share my screen. And voice is audible. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today's presentation. My focus will be on comparative analysis of MongoDB and traditional relational database, two fundamental types of database and management system with distinct architecture and use cases. In the evolving landscape of data management, understanding the strengths and limitations of these systems is crucial for making informed decisions about data storage and retrieval. So let's start with the PPT. Introduction to database system. A database system is a collection of softwares, tools, technologies designed to manage, store, retrieve, and manipulate data efficiently. It enables user to create, read, update, and delete data in an organized manner. And the key components of database system includes DBMS, database defined language definitions. So let me focus on the key difference which lies in data model scalability and query language. Data oriented. MongoDB stores data in flexible document and unstructured data. Relational database like MySQL and PostgreSQL store data in unstructured tables with flexible schemas. And scalability. MongoDB excels in horizontal scalability, while relational database are typical and vertical scalability. Scalability is just when we store data in a structure, the sequence in which we store is known as scalability. In MongoDB, we do it from up to down. That is in a queue form. Let's come to the next thing, the importance of choosing the right database. MongoDB. MongoDB is well suited for unstructured data, content management, and high volume data processing. MongoDB, we can use MongoDB for high data constructions and also content management. MongoDB is essential use for high volume data processing. Relational database like MySQL and PostgreSQL are strong support for transactional consists. It includes ACID compliance and also data integrity and complex queries. MySQL is good for complex queries because it is mainly and essential good for financial and banking system. Now let's come to MongoDB case study. eBay is a using company which use profiles and interaction in it. The company chose MongoDB due to its ability to store and manage unstructured data with ease. The platform requires high flexibility for type of the data, such of the user. Wait a minute. Such as user profile, product catalog, shopping cart details, and other histories. MongoDB documents model allowed for dynamic and hierarchical data structure, which is fit for the diverse and growing data needs of the platform. Actually, MongoDB is used when there is a high amount. Let's say I am working on a IIIC app development, in which I will use MongoDB because I have a very wide variety. I have a very huge data to use because there are 15,000 students which whom I will make profiles and their all interactions, which I will use MongoDB. And I am also making it as a better MySQL case study. After evaluating several options, the company selected MySQL, like Facebook, for its ability to handle complex relational data, which offer ACID compliance. ACID compliance is mainly used for financial because it consists atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. This all stands when we have a smooth transactional support. ACID is just used we when we use a transactional support in our financial background, like as banking system where we want consistent transactions each and after every transaction, durability where we can stand out with the transactions, and isolation where we can have this good security. These all are provided in ACID and with a good security feature. MySQL use a SQL language which make it easier for existing development team to transition, and its support for large-scale application provided the scalability need for the future growth. Key benefits are ACID compliance, strong query capabilities, reliable transaction processing. Use case are financial transaction because of the ACID compliance, social media platform because of the high security feature of the personal profile and the personal data that they feed. Next come to PostgreSQL. It is also one of the type of relational database in which high capabilities in handling complex queries, enforcing data integrity, and providing high performance analytics. It's flexible and complex and compliance with SQL standards made it an ideal solution for the healthcare company needs. Its key benefits are high data integrity, support for complex queries, and ACID compliance. Use case are financial service, complex relation data processing, and analytics. PostgreSQL is actually used when we use analytical tools like Power BI and like that. When we just want to analyze the outcome of the future trend or like that thing, we use PostgreSQL because of its comparative analysis. The comparison between MongoDB and relational database like MySQL and PostgreSQL can be very easily classified with these features like data model, storage, performance, and scalability. Let's come to data model. In MongoDB, we have document oriented, means it is not table oriented, it is document oriented. We have to make it a document file, like make it in Word or in other applications. But in MySQL and PostgreSQL, it is a relation, means we can use a connectivity tool to go through the other platforms, and also we make tables in it for creating a database. Storage. MongoDB uses JSON and BSON. It is text type documents or bitwise document. But in MySQL, we use tables which are in rows and columns. And in Postgre also, we use tables which are in rows and columns. MySQL and PostgreSQL uses tables because it is because relational database mainly uses tables only for their integrity. Performance. MongoDB is good for heavy workloads because of its document oriented and text type and its documentation and storage type. MySQL and PostgreSQL are good for heavy workload to write because of its table oriented, which make it easier. Scalability. Scalability is just in which format we are storing our data, like in queue or in stack. In scalability, In MongoDB, we use horizontal. That is a queue thing. But in MySQL and PostgreSQL, we use vertical and vertical scaling. That is mainly stack format. In Postgre, we also use horizontal because in some cases we have to use that thing. Key takeaways. The choice between MongoDB and relational database depends on the application needs. The ideal of in MongoDB, excuse me. In MongoDB, it is ideal for real-time applications. Real-time applications are mobile content, mobile application, content management system, real-time analytics, e-commerce platform. These are very good when we come to MongoDB because of its complex structures like JSON documents and also due to its horizontal scaling. MySQL is suitable for traditional management system like accounting system, banking sectors, enterprises resource planning, and healthcare system. PostgreSQL is same as MySQL because of its same of being a part of relational database. A reference, there is it is being referred to with the books of which I have gone through. In the conclusion, I would like to just conclude that the MongoDB offers flexibility and scalability for unstructured data and real-time analytics, while relational database excels in structured data management with ACID compliance and complex queries. MongoDB's and relational database focus on consistency and integrity, while MongoDB is ideal for projects requiring adaptability and speed. As I have mentioned, I am working on a IIIC project where I need to store 15,000 data of 15,000 students of a university. Here, as I have used MongoDB as my database, and I am currently working on it with my research. I think MongoDB is better as per the relational database, because relational database is mainly complex with the financial sector only because of its security and high and thread making. Future work can be just in future we can also work with many projects like my app development and any more thing. That's much only. Thank you everyone for being a part. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Asaf.
Thank
Yes, sir.
Can you explain what is the ACID properties of DBMS?
ACID properties of DBMS.
Yes. That is not listed in PPT.
Okay, sir. Actually, the ACID properties of DBMS. Actually, say ACID properties are only mentioned in MySQL and PostgreSQL. ACID properties are
what is the full form of ACID?
Full form of ACID is atomicity, durability, and consistency and isolation. These all are in financial backgrounds because
What is the meaning of atomicity in the DBMS?
So actually atomicity. So atomicity is just like so when we need so when a transaction happens, it needs a new ID. Actually, sir, let me explain. So when a transaction happens with ourselves or with the banking sector, a new ID is created. That ID is that generation of the ID is known as atomicity.
That is the primary key, beta. What is
Sorry,
the
sir.
meaning? What is the meaning of isolation in database?
Sir, actually, I'm just researching, and I'm just going through this my work, so I don't have that much depth knowledge currently. And
Asaf, this is a basic concept of DBMS, is it? So if you are explaining doing any comparative analysis, you must know the basic concept of the subjects. है ना? So presentation is good, but you have to must know that whatever content you have in your PPT. These are the basic features of any database systems. What do you meaning by the scalability of database? Can you tell me?
yes, sir. So uh, scalability is in the which in the when we is the ability. It is just the ability to uh, wait a minute. It is the ability to handle the data which we are putting in it
No need
according to the
be,
request of the user.
yeah, no need to be read it from anywhere. You must be know the what is the
No,
property of scalability of any
scalability.
database or any system having the scalability property. What is the meaning of that?
So scalability is just when we are putting, let's say I'm just feeding 2 to 3 datas. When these datas are put in, जब जब हम उसे गो थ्रू करते हैं या फिर हम उसे कॉल आउट करते हैं, तो वो किस फॉर्मेट में हमें बाहर आ रहा है, जैसे कि एक साथ एक बार में एक यूजर उसे फॉर्म कॉल आउट कर पा रहा है या फिर
Yeah, that is not a scalability, Asaf. I listen multiple times. You have speak the wrong definition of the scalability. Is it? We are using the cloud architecture or any database. Basically, presently we are using the cloud platform for storage of any database. Scalability means when you increase the number of users or then increase the number of requests, then your system must be able to handle all the requests at a time. Means when you increase or decrease the number of users or the request, then that is manageable by the particular database. That is called the scalability of the features of that particular database. Not the any format or something, is it? जैसे आप क्लाउड पे अगर कोई जो फिर फ्लिपकार्ट या अमेजोन है आपका, दिवाली में जब सेल्स वगैरह आती है तो उनके नंबर ऑफ रिक्वेस्ट और ऑर्डर्स इंक्रीज कर जाते हैं, ठीक है? तो उस रिक्वेस्ट को हैंडल करने के लिए अगर आपका डेटाबेस कैपेबल है, मतलब अचानक से 10 यूजर से आपके पास 1 लाख यूजर हो जाते हैं, योर डेटाबेस स्टिल वर्किंग प्रॉपरली विदाउट एनी एरर, then that feature is called the scalability.
Sir, whenever we create, let's say I am creating an application, उसके लिए जब मैं एक DBMS create, उसके लिए मैं एक backend database create करूंगा, तो उसमें मैं let's say मैं उसमें 15,000 कैपेसिटी डालूंगा कि उसमें 15,000 पहले से स्टोर्ड, उसमें 15,000 अभी या बाद में जाके स्टोर होंगे, बट जब उसमें 15+1
Asif, sorry to interrupt you, but please listen carefully what sir is telling to you. Just try to grab these things. Sir telling you what we mean by scalability. Okay, so please try to grab it what sir is saying to you, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes,
we
sir.
don't have such much time. Okay. So sir, what is sir saying that whenever you are presenting any PPT, you should able to understand each and everything what are you written on your PPT, right?
Yes, sir.
So do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Asaf. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Asif. Thank you, Sandeep sir. Now I would like to request the next participant, Ayush Chaudhary, on the paper title, A Review of Linear Research and Binary Research Algorithms for Modern Computing in AI World. Ayush Chaudhary, are you present?
I think he is not there, ma'am. Please proceed further.
I would like to request next participant, Arjun Verma. Arjun Verma.
Yes, ma'am.
Kindly present.
Okay.
Ma'am, please tell the paper ID. Falguni ma'am, please tell me the paper ID.
Yes, sir. Paper ID is 127, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
And is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Arjun Verma. I am from Vivekananda Global University doing BTech. Today, I'm here to talk about cryptographic security challenges found in WhatsApp, Telegram, and OpenSSL. These are the apps and tools we use for communication and encryption. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. These are the topics we will cover up today. So, what is cryptography? Cryptography is the science of secure communication. It safeguards our data from unauthorized access or manipulation using encoding and decoding techniques. In cryptography, there are three key principles: confidentiality, which means keeping the information secret; integrity, make sure that information isn't changed; authenticity, it proves that the information is from the right person. So, why do we need encryption? Encryption secures our personal, business, and financial data from unauthorized access or manipulation. It protects our privacy in online communication. It shields us from the cybercrime and fraud. In short, encryption keeps our data safe. Now let's talk about WhatsApp. WhatsApp uses something called end-to-end encryption, which means that only sender and receiver can read the message. It uses a system called Signal Protocol. This includes some complex algorithm like AES, which stands for Advanced Encryption Standard, to make sure that the messages are safe. However, there are few issues with WhatsApp. For example, while messages are protected, the metadata like who we are sending message, when we are sending message is still accessible, which is posing a privacy risk. WhatsApp backups from cloud storage are not encrypted, which means they are vulnerable to unauthorized access. Anybody can read those messages. And there's some controversy about Meta's private privacy policy. So next we have Telegram. Telegram uses end-to-end encryption only in secret chats, which can self-search after a while. It uses a protocol called empty proto, along with a strong encryption system like AES-256 and RSA. And there's some problem with Telegram also. The only secret chats are encrypted in Telegram, not the regular chat, which we mostly use. And MTOP protocol is being criticized for not being as strong as other and not tested enough. Just like WhatsApp, Telegram also stores data in cloud, which is vulnerable to hacking and government access. Now let's talk about OpenSSL. OpenSSL is a very powerful tool used by developers to encrypt and decrypt data. It's very common in Linux and uses symmetric and asymmetric encryption. However, OpenSSL is not perfect. It is very complex to use. It requires knowledge of command line to use it. And the key management is not very good in OpenSSL. And then we need to update it regularly to stay secure. And the interface is challenging for non-technical users. As you can see, these are the commands of OpenSSL to encrypt the text files. Now here is the quick comparison chart. In WhatsApp uses end-to-end encryption using Signal Protocol, whereas Telegram uses empty proto, and OpenSSL encrypts and decrypts text using AES and RSA. Drawbacks. The main drawback in WhatsApp is metadata is still accessible and backups are not encrypted. And in Telegram, default chats are not encrypted and there is a criticism of empty proto and data stored on servers, which is a risk. And OpenSSL is very complex to use. There is no key management in OpenSSL and need to update regularly. In conclusion, cryptography secures our data into unreadable text. WhatsApp uses Signal Protocol but has privacy risks for metadata and unencrypted backups. Telegram's empty proto encryption has cloud storage vulnerability. OpenSSL provides encryption, but it is very complex and lacks key management. And in future, we are thinking to create a Chrome extension that will encrypt and decrypt text messages. using AES and Chow 256 algorithm. So these are the references which I used to make this presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Arjun. I would like to request Sandeep sir if you are
Arjun,
having any queries.
Arjun,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
can you tell me what is the method is used to check the integrity of any data or information?
Oh,
किसी डेटा की या इंफॉर्मेशन की अगर इंटीग्रिटी हमको चेक करनी हो दैट इज तो उसके लिए कौन सा मेथड यूज करते हैं? What the method or algorithm or process we are using? You have mentioned in your first slide PPT, AIAIA,
yes, sir.
confidentiality,
Yes, sir.
integrity, and
Integrity.
yeah. So what the method we are using for the integrity purpose to
Sir,
check the integrity? Yes, tell me.
sir, honestly, I don't know. I've done the study on these apps about WhatsApp, Telegram, and OpenSSL. So I find the gaps in these apps.
Can you tell me what is the method used for the check the authenticity of data?
No, sir, I don't.
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Arjun.
Okay.
Thank you, Arjun. Thank you, Sandeep sir. Now I would like to request our next participant, Apurva Tiwari, paper number 128 on the comparative analysis of business analytics tools. Apurva Tiwari. Are you with us, Apurva? I would like to request the next participant, Prashant Kamal, paper ID 129. Prashant Kamal,
Yes, ma'am.
paper
Yes.
number 129.
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I request to all the participants, as we have to be in the timeline, please be prepared with your PPTs. And I have already shared the name list of all the participants. In the end, I will re-announce the name who has left out. Please be prepared. We are giving around 5 to 6 minutes for presentation and 2 to 3 minutes for the query round. Mr. Prashant, are you with us? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm Prashant from MIT ESCO department. My topic is the evaluation of visual effects changing the aesthetics of the Bollywood cinema. My co-author is Dr. Tanushree Mukherjee and Dr. Rituraj and Dr. Archana. In introduction, Bollywood is recognized as...
Please make it full screen. Prashant, please make it full screen.
Just okay. Bollywood is recognized as one of the largest film producing industry in the world, and India alone produced at a total of 1796 feature film in 2023. But when we look at the history of Indian cinema, Lumen Brothers first showed their short film at Bombay's Boston Hotel on July 7, 1896. The crowd was enthralled. It was an occasion that changed the course of history in terms of the expansion of and globalization of the motion picture. Dada Phalke released Raja Harishchandra, his film in 1913 during the silent era. Methodology was prevalent, and filmmaker used motion picture as mean of storytelling to tell many of their childhood tales. There used to be no visual effects during that time period. My objective, there is two objectives: to find out the evaluation of visual effects in Bollywood cinema, and second one is to study the impact of digital technology in Indian contemporary cinema. In methodology, I did a case study. I did a case history approach, analyzing a range of film articles and research papers that delve into the study of visual effects within Indian cinema. I also thoroughly examined early cinemas, Indian cinema that employed visual effects in diverse ways. This analysis aimed to explore how visual effects were integrated into film that the era, shedding lighting on their impact of storytelling, technological capabilities, and audience reception. This methodological framework allowed for the comprehensive exploration of how visual effects have evolved and been utilized in the context of Indian cinema, offering insights into both artistic innovation and technological progress. Significance of the study. Uh, I have two significance of the study. First one is reality and effects, a culture history of visual effect, and second one is the impact of digital technology. If talk about reality and effects, culture of visual effects, that is explore the profound impact of visual effects on cultural and artistic landscape of cinema, from the earliest experiments with practical practical effects of the cutting edges digital wizardry of today. Reality and effects illuminates how VFX have not only shaped the evaluation of cinema, but also come a lens through which we explore human imagination, technological innovation, and the ever-changing interplay between reality and fiction in visual storytelling. And second significance is the impact of digital technology. The impact of digital technology on visual effects has been revolutionary, fundamentally changes changing how filmmakers create a enhanced visuals on screen. Digital tools and techniques have enabled VFX artists and achieve unprecedented level of realism and creativity, allowing them to bring fantastical words, creature, and events to life the stunning detail of precision. Advancement in software, the hardware have streamlined the VFX production process, making it more effective and cost effective. Digital composition, 3D modeling, motion picture, and simulation technologies have become standard tools in the VFX industry, enabling artists to achieve interact effect and seamless integration of digital elements into live action footage. In case study, I have uh, chosen 4 pictures. First one is Kalia Mardan, second one is Mr. India, third is Bazigar, fourth one is Brahmastra. There is a many changes in all 4 movies. If we talk about uh, Kalia Mardan, at the early age of the Indian cinema, visual effects were rudimentary, yet innovation of relying on practical techniques such as matte paintings, miniatures, and optical effects. Filmmakers creatively use these methods of achieve fantastical element like flying sequence, magical transformation, and large than life sets. A notable example is the film Kalimardan, which featured pioneering, pioneering use of special effect for its time, including depiction of the mythological battles and supernatural occurrences. The film utilized primitive special effect techniques such as stop motion, animation, and superposition to depiction to depict mythological scene and supernatural elements. And second one is Mr. India, that is released in 1980. Visual effects in Indian cinema underwent notable development, albeit within the constraints of available technology and budget limitations. During the decade, filmmaker primarily released the practical effects uh, and optical tricks due to the nascent stage of digital technology. On prominent example of visual effects in Indian cinema during the 90s 80s in scene of in film like Mr. India directed by Shekhar Kapoor. uh, while the film effects may appear rudimentary by today's standards, it's introduced innovative techniques such as invisibilities achieved through the blue screen that we know as chroma screen technology and clever practical effects for the character of Magambo Lair. And third film I have taken Bazigar, in that is released in 1990. Visual effects in Indian cinema began to involve significantly marketing and transition for primarily practical effects to more advanced techniques. While digital technology was still in infancy, filmmakers started experimenting the computer-generated imagery, albeit on the limited scale due to technological constraint and budget consideration. One notable film from 1990, the showcase early use of visual effects in Bazigar, directed by Abbas Musan. The film utilized basic CGI for certain sequences, such as famous glass shattering scene, which was considered groundbreaking at the time for the technical innovation. And last one is Brahmastra. In contemporary Indian cinema, the use of visual effects has advanced significantly, uh, leveraging cutting-edge technologies to create stunning and immersive visual experience. Films like Bahubali, Ravan, Brahmastra, and Robot exemplify this advancement with their groundbreaking visual effects setting new benchmark in India cinema. The film Bahubali alone had over 405,000 VFX shots, indicating the monumental scale and complexity of visual effects involved. Furthermore, the integration of visual effects or VFX has expanded the narrative possibilities, allowing filmmakers to explore the genres and stories that were previously considered beyond the research of Indian cinema. Uh, in my conclusion, the evaluation of the visual effects in Bollywood cinema marks a profound shift in both artistic expression and technical prowess. Over the decades, from the rudimentary use of practical effects to cutting-edge CGI VFX technology of today, Bollywood has witnessed transformative journey. The evolution has not only elevated the visual appeal of film, but has also expanded the narrative possibilities. Also, filmmaker
Mr. Prashant, please conclude fast. Mr. Prashant, please conclude fast.
Audition in word previously unimaginable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prashant. I would like to request Sandeep sir if there is any query.
No, ma'am, there is no query.
Hello.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next participant, I would like to request paper ID 120, Miss Viplesh. on the topic, the growing impact of robotics and AI on various industries. Ms. Viplesh, are you present in the session? Ms. Viplesh.
I think Viplesh is there in the session. Just
Yes, sir.
we will confirm. 1 minute.
Yes, sir. In the last, we will re-announce the participant who has not able to present at their given time, but we will give just 2 to 3 minutes to present and conclude the session. The participant who has not presented, Apurv Changal, Ayush Chaudhary, and Apurva Tiwari. These three participants, I request you to kindly be prepared for your turn. Ms. Viplesh, are you ready to present?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to request you to kindly share your PPT.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to respected to all. First of all, thank you so much to presenting my paper in this conference. I'm sharing my PPT. Is it visible to all?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Thank you so much for confirming. So, my name is Viplesh, and I'm just this is a small survey of the topic is the growing impact of robotics and AI on various industries. A look at trends, revenue, and future application. So, just and proceed next. So basically, what is robotic? Robotic just like a device which is categorized as a robot. Its physically structured framework is capable of movement. It has different types of senses to do the perform the task. So basically, the components responsible for controlling these motions and referred to as actuators. These components comprise motors that collaborate to execute the necessary movements for completing the assigned task following signals. So basically, the objective of robotics research. If I talk about the past 45 years, has been to meet the technological needs of applied robotics. So basically, the complexity and research of application domains have influenced research questions in robotics. This evaluation has been shaped by human requirements. So, intelligent automation will become possible as robotics and artificial intelligence combine to allow robots to do difficult tasks and learn from the people. So, in this work, we attempt to highlight. I'm just saying about the main focusing on the direction and the application domains of such a large field of scientific research, but also the future markets of robotics. So features of robotics here. First of all, first is mechanical establishment. So in mechanical establishment, the mechanical part of robot allow it to function in the environment designed for it to help it traverse the challenging to train of the rectangle. For example, the Mars 2022. If I talk about the Mars 2022, rovers is equipped with independently propelled titanium tube wheels. So it's totally independent robot at that time. And in second, electrical parts. So basically, in robots needs electrical components to power and operate their equipment. Essentially, an electric current, a battery, for example, is need for the majority of robots to operate the different tasks. And then third is program software. In program software, robots are computer programmable, at least in part, without instruction from a set of codes. Basically, robots would just be another piece of the simple gear. Programming a robot can teach it when and how to perform a task
which is depend on the assigned task. Maybe it's a difficult, or it's based on the senses. And the third and the fourth is management framework. All components of control system of robot, which is generally referred to as its central processing unit, or computational in nature. So control system are based on the analogies to the human brain's transmission of impulses or sense to coordinate bodily functions. They are designed to instruct a robot on how to utilize it individual components effectively in order to achieve a desired objective. These automated jobs could vary from packaging on a production line to doing minimally invasive surgery. And fifth one is senses. So a robot can engage with their environment by employing sensors to transmit electrical impulses that serve as simultaneously and smoothly, and the controller basically controller these signals to provide instruction to the robot regarding its actions. So robot often incorporates sensors such as video cameras, photos, and microphones to serve as visual and auditory perception devices. So these sensors all allow a robot to sense its environment, decide what to do in the given scenario, and communicate controller commands to other components. So basically, these features of the robotic. And the seven is the next one is activators. So activators is basically categorized as a robot if a physical structure or framework is capable of movement. So the components responsible for controlling this motion are referred to as actuators. And actuators are typically operated using either oil or compressed air. So they can be constructed using various materials like as metal and elastic, and they are offered in multiple configurations to optimize their intent functions. Then seven is energy source. So basically, robots necessitate power for their operation, much to how the human body requires substances. So stationary robots such as those seen in factories can be powered by either an internal battery or by connecting to an AC power source from a wall outlet. And when designing the power supply for a robot, it is essential to consider important factors such as safety, weight, and lifespan. And future advancement in robotic may utilize several sources of power, including nuclear power, compressed gas power, solar power, and flywheel energy storage. So, and organic waste digestion using aerobic process. So these are the basically the energy of source for the robotic. And last one is the final or end efforts. So end efforts are basically exterior components that provide robots the ability to do their task. And robots can use sensor to send electrical impulses that function has in order to interact with their environment. So these are the robotic features. And just a minute. Yeah, next one is robots function. So basically, robots has the different types of functions depend on the functionality of the robot. Some robots are like mechanical arms or an assembly line for cars, and they are pre-programmed to perform certain tasks in a safe setting. And to function them, employ sensor to sense the environment, and then they use decision-making mechanisms. So basically, computers are typically employed to to identify the best course of action depending on their aim and data. So robots can also be controlled remotely by humans from safe distance using wireless network, or transported. Robots work in challenging environments with unpredictable weather or topography. So basically, The types of robotics, like human-like robots. So in human-like robots, human robots are usually these robots perform tasks that looks like a human would perform, just like a jumping, running, and carrying objects. Sometimes they are even crafted to have features and feelings similar to the human. And and um, and two of the most humanoid robots are Sophia. I just saw the name in my search. Sophia, and created by the Hanson Robotics. And second one is cabots. Cabots are basically collaborative robots, specifically engineered to operate in close proximity to humans. So these mechanisms guaranteed cobots or collaborative robots are specifically engineered to operate in conjunctions with human workers, reducing their speed, and they come across uh, using sensors to keep an eye on their surroundings, just like just like CCTV cameras is also working as a
Dear
just
Mr.
like
Plesh,
yes, yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Plesh, we request you to kindly conclude in time as we are having the timeline. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry. Thank you so much.
Please
Sandeep sir,
conclude.
do you have
Please
any
conclude.
query?
Conclude.
Please conclude it.
Don't skip it. Conclude it. Ma'am is saying conclude it.
Request you to
Okay,
kindly
ma'am.
conclude it. Yes, as soon as possible.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Actually, I'm just highlighting the main points. So I'm just explaining to it. So basically, nowadays, this is the era of the robotic with AI tools. AI, so it's just like perform the different tasks like a human being is based on the remote functionality or in the inbuilt feature in the robot, and types of robotic, basically human like robots is perform the types of the humans, and cobots basically types of robots, just like just like pick the sensors based on the priorities, which task is important first. And medical robots, if there is medical instructions inbuilt in robots, and basically these are the healthcare practitioners in various settings and improvement both the physical and mental health of individuals. Basically it's a robots are also capable of having conversation with humans, and help people develop their social and emotional skills. And if I talk about the robots for agriculture, so basically in agriculture also use the robots. So in agriculture, they help farmers basically maximize their time and energy by doing repetitive and laborious tasks. So agriculture robots come in a variety of forms, such as autonomous tractors and drones that collect data for farmers to assess. And next one is small scale robotics. So basically, small scale robots is a micro robots, and micro robots usually have a maximum size of 1 millimeter, and this might change depending on the situation. So in biotech researchers often employ micro robots to monitor and treat
Miss
disease.
Iplesh, Miss Iplesh, extremely sorry, we are running out of time. So we have to call the next participant. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Actually, I have confusion.
I
So
know, but I know, but because we have the
sir, please give me a 2 minutes
strict
to wind up
timeline.
it. Sir, please give me a 2 minutes
Okay,
to wind up. Thank you
okay.
so much, sir. Thank you for understanding. So basically, application for robotic. This is the only 3 application I have mentioned here: manufacturing, and healthcare, and compensation. So basically, in manufacturing application, there is a various type of manufacturing in companies, industries, to perform the basically task of the production, to assign the robots. And in healthcare, we use the application. There's some instructions. If suppose consumer and customer or can say it's a patient, if we want to talk with the application, there is some instructions of AI and companionship. There is a socialism. We can connect with the application. And pros and cons of robotic. Basically, pros is basically robots. If we compare to the human beings, if we compare to from the human beings, so basically robots is accurate and it's very effective to do tasks, and it's increased safety also. And in cons, there's a limitations for a robot and risk data security, because sometimes data can cyber attacks is also there. So our cost and associated with maintenance is also there for the robots mechanism. And future of robotic, there's a appearance of robotic has like a level of intelligence, and human robots designed to be uh, uh, critically pleasing and to engage with human in range of settings. So they can walk, carry object, and sense response to emotions. So basically, nowadays the era of the robotic. And then conclusion is that in this study we try to determine and evaluate the most profitable and promising subfields and other recommendations for future research directions. These are the references. Thank you so much for giving a good opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Plesh. Sandeep sir, do you have any queries on this?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now there are only 3 participants left, but I request to all the participants, we are giving only 3 minutes to present. So because we have to conclude the conference in time. The first participant I am recalling is Apurv Changhal. Changhal, if you are present. The paper ID is 121. Okay, he is not present. He is absent. The next participant, Ayush Chaudhary. Are you present? Ayush Chaudhary.
Yes, ma'am.
Ayush Chaudhary.
Yeah.
Are you present?
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
kindly start your presentation. We are providing only 3 minutes to present.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, yes. Try to wind up in 4 to 5 minutes.
Good
Be
afternoon,
fast.
all of you. My name is Ayush Chaudhary. I am pursuing BTech in AI and Data Science. I will be presenting on the topic of linear and binary search algorithms, which play a significant role in modern computing, especially in AI index. This is the index of my presentation. It covers the following key topics. So we start from introduction to searching algorithm. So what is searching algorithm? A searching algorithm is a method used to locate an element in a data structure, okay, like an array or list. These algorithms are critical in data structure as they enable efficient data retrieval, which is essential for data access and manipulation. So we are talking about 2 types of search algorithm, linear search and binary search. What is linear search? Linear search is a check each element sequentially and work for both sorted and unsorted data. It has a time complexity is ON, which make it less efficient for large data sets. Who can use linear search? Anyone with a basic programming knowledge, people who are dealing with small data sets, developers working with unsorted data, and programmers and analysts. When and why we use linear search? Searching for a product in unsorted inventory, checking for a duplicates in array, finding minimum and maximum value in unsorted list, or does not need additional memory beyond the input array. How linear search work? Start at the first element. Compare each element. It check each element matches the target value if match. Move sequentially. It continues checking the each element one by one until the target is found. Return result. Return the index of the target element if found or indicate not found. What is binary search? Binary search uses the divide and conquer strategy to find the target in a sorted array. It divides the array in half, compares the target with the middle element and element half of the remaining elements with a time complexity of O log n. Who can access or use binary search? People who are software developer, data scientist, database administrator, or we can say algorithm researcher can access or use binary search according to their work. When and why we use binary search? When data is sorted, binary search can apply to sorted arrays or list. When speed is crucial, use it when fast search time are needed as it quickly narrow down the search space. To reduce comparison, binary search drastically reduces the number of comparison by eliminating half of the space each step. Yeah, this is a comparison table between linear search and binary search. There are the criteria, basic concept, check each element sequentially, linear search. Binary search divide the data set into halves. So, conclusion. Efficiency. Binary search is more efficient than linear search for large data set due to its O log and time complexity compared to its search linear search. Data requirement. Binary search requires the data to be sorted while linear search does not. Future scope. With the rise of AI, and machine learning, the demand for effective search algorithm in unstructured data such as text or image will be increased. Linear and binary search algorithms will continue to evolve to handle these new challenges. This is reference. And yeah.
Thank you, Ayush, for your presentation. Sandeep sir, do you have any queries?
Ayush,
Yes, sir.
can you give me one scenario when linear search will work better than the binary search?
Yeah. So actually, when we have binary search required us data to be sorted, and linear search it work on unsorted data.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now to the last participant, there is only one candidate left, Apurva Tiwari, paper
Hello.
ID 128.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Apurva, we are having a time constraint of 3 to 4 minutes only. We request you to kindly conclude in time.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'll be sharing some insights of comparative analysis on business analyst tool using artificial intelligence. So as we all know that businesses face increasingly complex challenges, the demand for sophisticated analytical tools have been increased. So my goal in today's presentation is to provide a comparative analysis on the leading business analyst tools. The three most important tools that I have mentioned in my study is Click, Tableau, and Power BI. All the three tools are visualization tools that helps to visualize the data. Next, I'll take you straight away to the comparative analysis as we have a shortage of time. I have compared the three tools on the basis of four features, that is data integration, data visualization, collaboration, and natural language processing. If we talk about data integration means to collect the data, to integrate the data. So the best choice for that is Power BI and Tableau because it connects various data sources, especially the cloud-based data sources. So Power BI and Tableau are the most important and strong data integrations that shows. Next, we have data visualization. Again, Power BI and Tableau shows us incredible data visualization as they offer us customizable visualization where the users can automatically customize their own dashboards, create their own dashboards and present to the users, to the market, so that the people can understand their views in a better manner. Then we have collaboration.
Again, we use Power BI and Tableau for the collaboration. People can share reports and collaborate on different projects. Some of the example is Power BI Pro. This application is used to collaborate on interactive reports throughout the organization. Next, we have natural language processing. In this, Quilk is the best choice as it understands the language queries, generates the insights, and helps the users to incorporate his or her ideas. Then we have real-time applications. Power BI, Tableau, and Click, both, all the three of the tools are visualization tools, but there are some of the factors on which they differ. First of all is ease of use. Power BI is basically constricted to Microsoft tools such as MS Excel. You can directly import the data from the spreadsheets to the Power BI itself and create visualizations. Tableau involves a feature known as drag and drop interface where we can easily use the data. Click requires some of the prior information of the user. It has a steep learning curve, especially the click view. The click sense is very easy and user friendly for the user to use, but if a user uses Click as an application, he must have a prior information related to it. Then we have data handling. Power BI is very useful to handle the data, but when we come for the large data sets, the complexity increases. Tableau, we have Tableau helps to handle the large data sets, whereas Click also. Then we have data integrations. Data integration is in Power BI, it is restricted to Microsoft products only, whereas Tableau, the sources can be from the cloud systems also, and Click basically it has an excellent integration in structured as well as the unstructured data. Next, we have the customization and flexibility that is higher in Power BI, Tableau, and Click as well. So these are my references and conclusion. This comprehensive analysis of business analyst tools, Power BI, Click, and Tableau highlights their respective strengths and ideal use cases. The decision on which tool to use should be guided by specific organizational needs, existing technological infrastructure, and desired analytical capabilities. Each tool offers unique advantages, and selecting the right one can significantly enhance data analysis, reporting, and decision-making processes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Apurva.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sandeep sir, do you have any queries for Apurva?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the participants for joining us today. A big thank you to our session chair, Sandeep sir, for finding time for joining us in this international conference. And we are really very thank you on the behalf of Amity University Organizing Committee. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable time and valuable insights to our participants.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank my co-session chair Pankaj sir for supporting me in all the and guiding me for making this conference to go smooth. Thank you so much, everyone, and we will soon share the results. We will share the results soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sandeep sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Falguni.
Thank you, sir.
For this amazing session.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Falguni, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Everyone, please leave the meeting.